No rules, no safe words. This is Unbounded with Christopher Allen.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Unbounded Podcast. This is the podcast with no change, no rules, and no safe words. I'm your host, Christopher Allen, and we're here in quarantine, so things are a little different, and the format of the show is going to look a little bit different, at least for this week and possibly the next few weeks till this quarantine is over, or until I can figure out what YouTube's problem is with not letting me upload stuff from this here computer. So that's the only reason that the format would look different. But I'm planning on shooting stuff remotely through Skype. We figured out how to get that to work. And that's the episode that you're going to see today. Today's topic is on sex. Does it automatically come just because you are attracted to somebody? So if you have a physical attraction to somebody, does that automatically mean that you would sleep with them? Male or female, it's not gender bound, but we certainly are getting unbounded. Join me, AJ and Katy, right now.
Everybody has apparently missed that opportunity. Because she said 18 years ago, the opportunity was like, because you said if the opportunity was present, you would have the opportunity about 18 years ago. But now, that opportunity ain't present no more.
Look, if only you caught me sooner.
Yes. If only you'd have seen me sooner.
Like, damn it, I told you to be at Grand Katy Station at 4 p.m. and now you missed the train. It's over, Shakova. Can't go back.
I mean,
it's 4:02.
I have sent that text message where they're like, I can swing over now. And I'm like, nah, it's too late. Like, I got other shit to do. But no, I mean, I think that if you're really just breaking it down to a physical thing, like you're not talking about relationships, you're not talking about emotions, you're not talking about, all of this other kind of stuff, then yeah, the reason, people are going to not like that. The reason you have sex is because you're physically attracted to somebody, that's just kind of like, if you break it down to its baseline, that's what's happening. Now, with that said,
you got to do it at the same time, Everybody look the same with the lights off, That's all I'm saying,
which is true. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who have had sex with people that they're not physically attracted to.
We got needs.
Yeah, at the end of the day, sex is sex. So, but assuming that that's how you feel about it. Now, if you are somebody who can't separate emotion from physical connection, then you can't do that. And that doesn't mean the same thing. So, if we're talking from that standpoint and that mindset, then no, just because you're physically attracted to somebody doesn't automatically mean sex. And vice versa. Just because you're not physically attracted to them doesn't mean that sex is completely off the table.
You're very open-minded. See, and that's good. My thing is,
So you better start telling jokes right now, shuck and jive or something right now. I tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, you look like a 2, but if you can make me laugh to compensate the rest, you might just weasel your way in.
Listen, and I'm gonna speak for all my fellow ugly niggas out there in the universe that is true.
I'm listening, Cap.
That is true. Cap. First of all, I ain't talking to you. All right, you don't count. You don't qualify.
Hey, don't let the hype fool you, bro. I get no's too. I collect my fair share of no's.
Everybody gets no's. I'm sure Katy has gotten no's.
Yeah.
I collect my fair share of no's. I ain't the best look. I can show you the best looking people in the world now, male, female, whoever. I can show you. It ain't me. I tell you that.
I personally don't. One thing I disagree with what Katy said was the whole, there was a time when, all that was cool. And it's like, now it's like, baby, no. Fucking around, sleeping around, that don't have the only expiration date that has is if you were in a relationship. That's obvious. But like, if you are 20, 30, 40, or 80, if you are in a position to where you're not in a relationship and you free and you can get it how you get it, You better be getting it. Hugh Hefner was out there getting it. That's the kind of vibe I'm talking about.
Right. Well, but what I'm saying is like, and if you want that, that's fine. But if you don't, that's where you have to start breaking this down differently. Because you do have that mindset. You will always have that mindset. I think you'll have that mindset when you're 70 years old. However, I also
get up no more, but damn it, come get it.
But my thing is like, even as it stands now, like, yeah, you do get to a point where it's like, I could do that, but I just don't want to. So even if the opportunity were to present itself, I just don't have a desire to just hook up with X, Y, and Z, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's not even, you know, oh, I only want to sleep with somebody if they're looking to pursue something, or I only want to sleep with somebody if it's leading towards a relationship. Like, all of that aside, I don't feel the need to be a slut. So I'm not going to. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I went through that stage, but right now, that doesn't appeal to me. And therefore, even if I find you attractive and the opportunity's there, it's not going to entice me.
AJ, you look like you want to say something, even though you're frozen.
What she said, you know, like I said before, it was a time in my life when when you could, you know, you find my name on the end credits when you watch the movie The Game. And what she was saying about like people with like relationships and stuff, like, hey, I'm not trying to have sex with somebody unless they want to be in a relationship. That's like the bait that would bait a young, you know, 10 year ago Chris in, like, you know, 15-year ago Chris in, like, and you know, hey, you want this, you got to get in a relationship. Here it is, but first you got to really, okay, we together now, you know, and it makes perfect sense. That just kind of threw my psyche off a little bit hearing that flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. And I'm okay, cause I take all that. One other point I want to make, and I'll make this point and give you time to get your video back together, because right now you looking like a whole stick figure frozen in a movie. But
hold on a minute. Let me try to get right. Let me see what we got going on. Let me do this here.
The funny thing is, though, the frame in which you're frozen was very representative of the points he was making.
Don't use me as a tag. Don't use me as the damn tag for YouTube.
What you mean?
Let me see if I can get back. Oh, there we go. Oh, I see
there we go.
Moving again. Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Back shucking and jiving. Okay. Yeah. So my thing here is, because I have a friend, and I'll say her name because it's not like, you know, we out here talking trash, and both of y'all know her, but I learned something by hanging around Sydney about women and why women are more particular, in my opinion, with who they dole themselves out to, I guess. Because, like, you have to. When you're a beautiful woman like Miss Bick, like Sydney, your DMs is lit, son. So lit that, like, you can't even, like, focus. Like, you have a job. Like, you have a life to deal with, Katy. You can't be entertaining every single dude that throws themselves at you or tries to make a pass at you. So you got to filter it.
Sorry about all that.
You live by the airport.
I apologize. And what happens when you quarantine so close to the airport? I'm sorry.
It happens. But
anybody who don't like it, fuck.
Anyway, but yeah, you have to do that in order to, I guess, remain sane, because there's not enough hours in the day for somebody like Sydney to entertain all that. So she has to be more selective. Okay, you can't be, you know, that's how you end up filtering by like types and heights and incomes and all this other stuff. And I get that. For me, I'm not in a position to do that. If I did that, I would never get laid again. And I just can't have that for myself.
Well, but I also think that that comes down to that you just have lower standards.
My heart.
I mean,
where is my drinking Dave?
And I'll say this about both of y'all. There are very few situations where
really,
not like this. Not like this.
I'm sorry. Such a good. Y'all think it's loud for y'all? Imagine how it is for me. I literally feel like I reach up and touch the exhaust that's got to be coming off this plane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is the Blue Angels out there? Like,
good Lord.
I don't fucking know what's going on. These aren't even actual planes.
Military jet.
She's out here right now.
It's just like, is you fine or is you good?
Okay, sorry.
Good.
So, yeah. That's what you know. These weren't actual planes. These were like fighter jets.
Yeah.
Out here. I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, so what I was saying is that I feel like, if you set aside relationships, connections, commitment, like all of that aside, you've got a single AJ, you got a single Chris, right? And even if you're not completely single, there's no, you ain't pursuing nothing, you're not tied to nothing, right? I feel like there's very few situations where if you were offered sex that you wouldn't do it.
I agree.
Right. And that's just not true for me. Like, I'm not if I'm approached by anybody who's like, hey, want to get down? And it's like, no, I just don't want to. No.
And of many reasons that you probably have, I feel like one of them is the fact that you have to filter shit. You just can't entertain everybody like that.
No, I don't even think that's true. I just don't. I mean, along with that, I think there's a warped sense that, like, in general, that girls, like, don't have to work for sex, that we could just snap our finger and have a picking, and that's also not true. And that goes with the physical attraction. I mean, I'm almost 60 pounds lighter than I was at my heaviest point. That makes a huge difference about what kind of opportunities you might have presented to you or not. However, even at my heaviest, I still turned people down because I'm just not interested, And not that I don't find you physically attracted. I just don't want to have sex with you.
Oh man, maybe if I ever wake up and I'm like Shamar Moore, chiseled out of marble, I'll understand better. But good God, I'm just not living that life. I would love to understand more about how it is that women actually get turned down. Like, I'm legitimately perplexed.
Because you're perplexed because of my statement earlier about, and I don't mean this in a negative way, you just have either lower or less standards. What you consider to be attractive or what you would find physically attractive is so wide and so general and so across so many things that allows you to have, a greater, I don't know, pool of things to take from. However, there are plenty of people who don't feel that way. I know people who are like, I've never fucked anybody who's not a blonde. If you're not blonde, they don't find you attractive. So if you're a brunette, they're not going to fuck you.
let me touch on the issue that we cut the last conversation off at when we were talking in text messages. And that is, let's talk about this Becky Lynch thing. Because y'all have tried to come for me on Becky. How is she attractive? I don't know. I guess if I had to break it down, like, I don't know, let's take, I don't know, Becky and, I don't know, somebody else. Who?
Charlotte.
Okay, Becky and Charlotte. Because Charlotte has things, physical things about her that Becky just doesn't have. However, like, okay, Charlotte, because I've never seen like Becky Lynch's bare legs. I have not. But I've seen Charlotte's because she always got them out. That girl's leg game is strong. I'm a leg man till the death of me. Yes, all day. I also like, and some people give Charlotte a bad knock for this because, oh, she looked like a man. She looked like a man. I don't know, something about the fact that I know that she could probably ragdoll me is hot to me. I'm into that. And that's the same way I feel about like Rhea Ripley if you watch NXT. But here's the point. Like the point is that if Becky were to, let's say that I found more things physically attractive about Charlotte. If Becky approached me trying to give me some, I'm not going to be like, no, you're not Charlotte. I'm going to be like, bring that ass here, girl. Period.
Right, but you have yet to say why you find Becky attractive.
I don't know. I mean, she's got a good body. I like her fucking accent. That shit's sexy as hell. Her body is a good body. Huh?
What about her body is a good body?
Okay, and see, this is where you and I get to the fork in the road because you're breaking it down like she has small tits. She doesn't have an. I don't care about that. Does she have a vag that is fuckable?
See, and that's my point. That is exactly my point that I was hoping you would say. Because she has a vagina and therefore she's attractive.
However, okay, yes, I will take that point. She has a vagina. She's attractive. Rosie O'Donnell also has a vagina. I would not fuck Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, but why?
I would fuck Rosie O'Donnell
because of who she is as a person.
Barring, you mean like personality-wise?
No, I'm answering the question for you. You constantly go on about, it's not about somebody's size, it's not about their height, it's not about this, it's not about that, it's just an overall attractiveness. Well, I don't think you have specific things. You might have specific things that you're attracted to, but that's not going to rule out something or the other. But then what that comes down to is what we were talking about earlier in text messages is that mental attraction.
And I'll take your point to Rosie. Okay. Rosie, to me, and I hadn't seen Rosie in quite a while, but when I made this decision, I felt like Rosie was a little too large and in charge for my liking. However, you know my girlfriend. My girlfriend's a larger woman, but I find her attractive. How?
Because it comes down to a personality.
But I found her attractive when I saw her on Tinder before I knew who she was. The personality helped a lot, absolutely. But I can look at Rosie O'Donnell and be like, nah. But then I looked at her and was like, yeah.
But can you give a specific reason as to why?
I can't completely put my finger on the pulse of that.
Okay, so this answers your age-old question that you come at girls with all the time about why don't you find me attractive? And they just say, well, I just don't. Well, you just don't find Rosie O'Donnell attractive. Like that, and sometimes that's a legitimate answer. It's not a cop-out. It's not because they're trying to spare your feelings. It's literally just because you look at someone and you're like, I just don't find them attractive.
Okay. I can say with complete honesty that I actually feel like I just learned something just now, and that's cool. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Chiseling away at you.
Huh?
I said we're chiseling away at you.
AJ, I don't mean to leave you out the conversation. Go.
Oh, I'm chilling. I'm taking all this in. Ultimately, I'm going to have to say I agree with the Bic. And to revert back to the beginning of the situation, can you look at somebody and just find them attractive and say, oh, I want to fuck them, or I would fuck them if the opportunity arose itself? At one point in life, yes, because that's how the reputation, good, bad, or indifferent, I became famous for today. But as the Bic said, in these older years, no, you can't. And I'm gonna tell you a story why. Been saving this story for the longest. Tell you a story why.
You said, "Got around, youngins, around the campfire."
Got around the campfire, because I'm about to tell y'all a story about two hoes.
Oh, God.
I know them both personally. We both know them through, whatever the fuck that's called, whatever the circle of separation, whatever. We both know them.
I know what he's talking about.
So, tell you a story about two hoes. Okay?
Were they in different area codes?
No. They might be in different area codes now, but it's two hoes.
Mm-hmm.
Hoe number one over here was a hoe. Proud of being a hoe. All this stuff like that. The shit that this person has done in their lifetime, if I told you about it, it would make you rethink yourself sexually, or it might make you sick to your stomach. However you take it, it's gonna make you feel different than what you're feeling right now. But then you got hoe number two over here. Hoe number two, low key hoe. Don't really advertise being a hoe out there, but she making hoe moves and stuff like that. Hoe number one today, STD free. Hoe number two, herpes. Think about that for a second.
I feel like that was like a bedtime story that should have been told by Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about these two motherfucking hoes.
And he was telling it to Morgan Freeman. He had to been telling it to Morgan Freeman to put a little ease on it, Yeah. But yeah, think about that for a second.
Hoe number one thought she was all good, but alas, hoe number one was not all good. Everything was about to change for her.
What the
fuck does that have to do with anything we're talking about?
I'm getting to it. Hurry
up.
The Bic closed you out by saying, okay, so ultimately because she has a vagina, you find her attractive. And then you're like, oh, well, because she has a vagina, the opportunity arose, I would fuck her. But yet, so she still could be attractive, still have a vagina, but yet herpes. So if
now, are we saying I don't know that she has herpes?
You don't, exactly. That's the point. The unknown is the point.
So
that's why you
just be afraid. Oh, every girl might have herpes. Like, again, never would get laid.
No, I think AJ's point is that when he was younger, that thought never occurred to him. And now that he's older, he's more selective because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with my selection. I think, not that I'm willingly going to sleep with somebody with an STD, but that factor is not, I was blatantly aware of that when I was younger too. It's why I used protection.
The factor is you don't know. And if you take the fact that such person could have an STD out of it, whatever. If you take it, okay, you find somebody attractive, you approach them, and then, y'all end up having sex. You don't know how they are going to react to it the next day.
Right.
It could just be a pump and dump for you because, hey, I was attracted to you, so I wanted to fuck you, so I did, and now that's it. Now I'm on to the next person I'm attracted to. But for them, that could be a whole other situation. That could mean, oh, now he must want to be in a relationship, or they must want to be in a relationship, or they must want this, or they must want that. You don't know how the other person is going to take that. So you can't put yourself in that type of position just based solely off of somebody's looks. Let me rephrase. You do whatever you want to do with your situation. I'm not going to put myself in that type of position just based off of somebody's looks. There are plenty of women now in this world in general who I probably looked at you at one point and said, "Oh man, I fuck dog shit out of her." And then you know, if the opportunity, put it this way, if the opportunity came, I fuck dog shit out of her. And then later on down the road, as I'm learning and watching these persons or these people more, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it because this and this would happen at the end of it. See, couldn't do it.
So you basically are like, okay, meet girl. In your mind, think, I fuck the dog shit out of her. Get to know her first, and then go from there. Is what you do.
Yeah, you got to know what exactly situation you're dealing with.
The reason that I do it the opposite way is because, and again, this is on personal experiences of mine where I'm like, damn, Chris, you fucked up. If I meet a girl and I am like, okay, I'm in a position to try and smash, I'm going to go ahead and try and make that happen before some other nigga comes in and swoops. And then, whoop, chance gone. Or B, we start getting to know each other, and then it's like, either, something happens where it's just like, and then she hits you with that age-old line that I can't fucking, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me not be that guy. That age-old line, Katy do it, Katy's face, and she does exactly where I was about to go. But that age-old line where it's like, oh, well, you're just a friend to me, or you're like a brother, I don't want to ruin our friendship. That kind of thing. Before I get hit with that.
I understand.
Because you can't unfuck me.
Yeah. But again, my mindset and your mindset situation might be two different things. Like I said.
My mindset was born from you.
Hey. Shut up, bye. I've shot my shot many a times and have succeeded and have failed. In my mind, if I failed for a reason like that, then that person is missing out. You got to maintain that mentality throughout the whole situation.
And you told me that too, and I took that advice, and I agree with you. And the prime example of when it worked out. Ooh, bless you, child. Sneeze it. See, this is why we doing it this way. Because had you done that here, I'd have had to put you on the street. Anyway.
National Guard would have pulled up.
Right. Sneezing all in here. Get that Rona out of here.
It's the Rona. It's a respiratory infection as I'm getting pushed to the street.
Right. But a time where that worked was, I don't even know how to code name this person, but the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. That is a time where it worked, where I was literally told, you are like a brother to me. So what did I do? I took the AJ advice. I fell back like a lion in the tall grass. And I waited for 10 damn years. And eventually it came around. That's why I'm in a mindset right now where it's like, you can't tell me shit. Because like, oh, no, I never sit with you. Never say never.
His patience is impeccable.
Patience, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but is that patience or just creepy?
No. I wasn't doing anything. She said we were just friends. I said, cool.
He was in his position.
I legitimately did not think about it for almost 10 years because I took her at her word. I was like, all right, cool. It's not going to be nothing. Believe me, I was just as surprised when it happened. I even said, I'm like, wait a damn minute. Where is this?
And that's how he almost talked himself out of it.
Right. And then a little Jimmy Cricket.
Wait. You taking my pants off? I thought you said I was like a brother to you.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You right. I'm tripping. I'm bugging. But Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder was like, shut
the fuck up.
And I was like, okay, Jiminy, that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, bringing it back to kind of what AJ was saying, I think you get into these situations where it's just your priorities evolve and what you value more, and it's not that anybody is sort of right or wrong, or there is a way that you should approach that or not. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, it's not just about the sex, like going out and racking up my numbers, or doing my own thing and not giving a fuck about anybody else's feelings or how it affects anybody else. Like, that's just not mentally where I'm at as a person. Therefore, my shift in how I would handle that is different than it was, 8 years ago. And there's nothing wrong with one way or the other. I just think it all comes down to personal stuff. But, if you loop in the other stuff that we were talking about with that mental attraction, that's that part that, AJ is pulling in. And that, yeah, you do, even if you do find somebody physically attractive, you then maybe kind of get to know them a little bit, see where they're going, not even in the hopes of necessarily pursuing something or building a relationship or anything like that, just to kind of get a feel for, like, this person that you might potentially be inviting into your bedroom. And you realize that, maybe they're a shitty person or they annoy the fuck out of you. And then that immediately makes them unattracted to you. So it's it's no longer about the physical attraction, it's mental.
I'm no good with the one night stands. You got to be if I'm gonna fuck, you got to be at least be somebody I can talk to the next day, regardless of how the situation may go after the fact. The sex could be amazing or it could be terrible, but if I can't have a conversation with you the next day, I can't fuck with you to begin with.
And I'm not letting you stay to the next day.
No, I mean, no, wait a minute.
He's like, okay, you got to go.
I can't fuck you if I can get your phone number or something.
Yeah,
I'm no good with the one.
That's how you do it.
I'm no good with the one-nighters.
Yeah, if that's literally what it's about, and even if it's not one-nighters, like, I had a guy way back, we were pretty regular, but we're legitimately just friends, no emotional connection, no romantic stuff, no desire to date each other, like what we wanted or needed out of partners, not even remotely close together, but the sex was good, so we did it. And it was funny, there was one night he swung by the house and he was like, oh, so I've got to get up. And I was like, don't even bother. I was like, I'm going to bed. Have a good night. And he was like, yeah, you straight? And I was like, yep. That's not what this is about. You don't need to make an excuse about why you don't want to spend the night. I don't want you to spend the night. Like, and that.
Your Uber's outside, yeah.
Yeah, like, but that also comes down to.
Yo, Uber outside.
But that also comes down to, like, communication, personalities, and back to AJ's point, getting to know each other a little bit. Like, we could do that because we knew each other well enough to be able to do that. There are plenty of other people that I know that would have crushed them if I had made that comment.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in a point where my life where if I made that comment and it did crush somebody, I would feel really bad. Versus years ago, like, well, fuck, that sounds like wow.
It's like, well, I got what I wanted. You can take your feelings out the door to your Uber.
Hey!
That's it. But yeah, like, definitely, no, if I can't have a conversation, if it's not somebody I can have a conversation with, or you feel like, the next day or next 2 days or so, whatever, even if they say, hey, we never gonna do this again. Okay, fine. I got the notch on the belt, whatever, cool. We can still be cool afterward, but if we can't be cool afterward, then why the fuck did I even waste my time giving you the game? I guess I've outgrown the fact of needing notches, and that body count done got high enough. I'm gonna let Chris take over from here because I'm done. My bones are old. But, you know, I've outgrown that fact of just trying to, you know, see everything and fuck everything that's walking or moving, that's breathing with a pulse that just looks good. Like, my mama taught me a long time ago, everything that glitter ain't gold. You know, everything that shine ain't silver. But I feel like in that type of situation for them dudes, and Chris, I'm not shooting no shot at you, Chris. I'm just saying as an in general statement, and if you identify with this, then you can take it as personal as you want to. For dudes who just see somebody and are trying them and say, "Oh man, I'm fucking them," or I'm gonna put forth every effort I have into fucking them, then you think too much with your dick, and that's just my opinion. I value mine too much to think with it that much. Now, let some drinking days get in me, or, you know, whatever's whatever, then that might be another story. But if I'm in a sober mind, I value my dick too much to just let him take charge. You know,
I hope you understand how crazy it is to hear this juxtaposed with the shit I've heard you say and seen you do in the early days of me knowing you. I mean, I understand people evolve, and I'm glad that you've evolved because your involvement helps me evolve.
Yeah, you got a lot more years invested in with me than most people do in general. So, like, again, you think that your transformation started and everything that when we first met, but now, you know, side note for a hot second, because I want y'all to understand how long we've known each other. You think your transformation, you know, started and everything kicked off for you as far as where you wanted to go at that time when you met me. It started at the same time. Like, life didn't really pick up for me until after I met you. So them trenches you see me going through and stuff like that, and I was taking you through, we was going through it together. Just know and understand that. With that being said, yeah, dudes today in 2020 who thinking with they dick, to me, you don't value your dick enough. You got to have more dick appreciation. You know? I said it.
Katy, is there such a thing as pussy appreciation?
You damn right.
She's speechless.
That's not how we refer to it. I mean, yes, if we're really going to break this down, it's those girls that are like, I have more respect for myself than that. And so I guess I'm not saying those words though. And I
commend them girls. Because Chris, the girls that she talking about are those same girls who you said that you gotta take your shot when you can, because otherwise they're gonna hit you with that, "Oh, I look at you as a brother" statement or whatever. Again, as a man, I sympathize with what you saying, Chris, as far as that you find it hard to believe for women to be rejected or turned down as much as a man. Because I firmly believe, Lord, I'm about to get unbounded. I hope she don't ever watch this podcast, because I got to say her name for you to understand who I'm talking about. Pam M. Yeah.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
What about her?
I feel like she could have got dick when she wanted it.
From who?
That was her problem. That was her problem. She shot her shots a little too high.
She did. Like, she shot a shot at everybody. And I'll admit, I tried. I shot my shot back.
She shot her shot a little too high. But, you know, I feel like she could have got it whenever she wanted it. You know, and I feel the same thing with most to any attractive females, whatever, whether y'all know. Matter of fact, scratch that. Any female, whether you know it or not, you can get it whenever you want it. And I feel like the same may go for men. I just ain't talked to enough dudes to confirm it. But you can get it whenever you want it. It comes down when it you know, is dudes hating, like being choicy or whatever, when you choose not to get it from who is offering it to you. Like,
but then I'll turn that around and say the same thing about guys.
Yeah, I agree.
If you go into it with, I have zero standards and anybody who walks up to me with a penis can fuck me, then yes.
I 110%.
You could do the same thing with a vagina. Like that.
I agree. 110%. I agree exactly what you're saying. So, but that's where, you know, I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I'm trying to help Chris understand what you're saying.
Right. So to that point, yes, if you forego any type of standards or self-respect that you have, yes, anybody in the entire world could get laid. However,
get it.
That is not the same thing as women don't get rejected.
And that again is a portion, you know, and let me rephrase. I know for a fact women get rejected. I had to turn something down back in my day. I ain't proud of it, but it is what it is. Has to happen sometimes. But yes, it definitely does happen.
He over here being AJ Levine, but talking like Michael B. Jordan.
You know, I try to. I'm trying to get that spot on Black Panther 2. Let me know what's good.
Okay, Chadwick.
You know, but I think what Chris is trying to say is that it happens in a significantly less amount with women than it does with men. Because men more so think with their dicks and just say, oh, if a girl walked up to Chris, right? I almost guarantee you, Chris is the day him and rephrase, God forbid, knock on wood if you can find it, the day Chris and Samantha end, a girl could walk up to Chris 5 minutes later, say, hey Chris, I'm trying to fuck. I heard you single now. And he own it. He is on it.
Oh, he did.
There's no grieve time. There's no time to think about this. Nothing. He just gonna jump. Like, right. And that's the part about dudes that blows my mind, because I was that dude. I seen what happens being that dude. I can no longer be that dude. I can't just jump on it. That don't mean I won't take it.
Katy, let me ask you this. To that point, okay, because you and I have obviously, you know, peeling back the curtain, have had very candid conversations, albeit ultimately very short conversations about the prospect of you and I being anything but what the hell we are. Now, with that being said, what AJ just described about, he'll just fuck anybody. Can women kind of gauge that from Jump Street in a guy? If they're that type of guy, and does that make them less attractive to that woman?
I mean, I am not going to speak for all women. I personally, I think if you're an energy person, then yes, because you pick up, if I'm an energy person, so I pick up on vibes and auras and energy. So that's a part of your energy. So yes, but I will say that there's also then those guys who know they're attractive, and I'll give them that. They're usually gorgeous creatures, but because they know they're attractive, they're like, I can get anybody. And then there's these girls who are not dimes by their standards, who they then toss a lifeline out to. It's almost like a pity, like, oh, I'll offer to get with her tonight. She probably doesn't get anything. And it's like, there are girls that are going to take it because they like the attention and that's what they're going to take it for. But then there's also girls like me where it's like, if you come at me with that kind of attitude, regardless of my physical attraction for you, you're an absolute douchebag and I've lost any interest in you. To the point where even if I still had some vague interest, I wouldn't, just to prove a point to you that you don't get to just walk around on a high horse because you're pretty. Like, people are more than that, and that the person has to matter.
But
there are people that I know that I cannot stand, that I could not stand for various reasons, but I would still smash. It's called hate fuck. That's what I call it, at least. I don't know if that's actually a term. But like, I would hate fuck the shit. Like, I can't stand you, but damn, you cute. Mm-hmm. I just hate fuck the shit out of you.
Fucking like a stranger.
So that is the thing. I'm not crazy. Okay.
But y'all, but go and get you a prostitute then, Chris. Just go and get you a prostitute then. If you just want to fuck something that's moving, all you gotta do is pay a little bit of nothing for it, and you ain't got no strings attached after that. Go and get your prostitute.
First of all, I'm cheap. Secondly, prostitutes have a higher probability of an STD, I would think. Thirdly, why not just have somebody that you know and just, I don't know, be adults and have that conversation? Well, okay, yeah, I would totally be into sleeping with you, but the thing is, I don't want any strings attached. Okay, cool, no strings attached. Because if you're both adults, because I've literally done this before, then you can handle it. You just need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because again, there's a momentary thinking. That type of a thing would happen. It would be good for maybe, I would give it 2, 3, maybe 5 solid fucks at a maximum. Once you go past that, once you start to go from, okay, hey, we fucking whatever. I'm not saying this applies to everybody. I'm just gonna say, me. I'm gonna throw me under the bus. Me. Once sex goes to where it's like a regular type of deal, strings attached or not, whatever. If it's on a regular type scheduling or whatever, you start to develop an expectancy at some point. And then when you develop an expectancy and then these other things, and granted, if any other things happen in the middle or whatever, other things start changing. So it's like, you say be adults and have that conversation, but nobody is having that conversation that says, hey, listen, I need some dick, I need some pussy, we can fuck, no strings attached, cool, we fuck, okay, now don't call me, don't text me, don't come see me, I won't come see you, nothing like that. I will let you know if I need dick again, and if it needs to be your dick, I will let you know. Like, that's how you prevent the no strings attached in it. Because it's not like, oh, well, we fucked, so now all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm gonna marry you, or I'm in love with you, or whatever. No, it's the everything afterward that, starts to loop them strings in. So that's why nobody's having that conversation, because they don't really, because nobody's out here just saying, hey, we're gonna fuck, no strings attached, and then I'm not gonna see you again until I want some more. That's why I won't do it. That's because I couldn't be that person. I'm gonna tell you off gate.
Right, you couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't be that person.
And that's what you just have to know it about yourself, because I have been in situations where I've gone past that 4 or 5 fucks. However, we are really just friends, and that really is all it is, and it's never been weird. I've had people who I've had that with years in between relationships, and that, like, that's it. It's easy, it's comfort, and we're friends, and we see each other regularly, so the difference is that I've had that same situation with a different person, and we're pretty regular for, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that, like an extended amount of time. The difference was that he actually told me, he was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I was like, oh, what's up? And he was like, I think I want more than this. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll catch you at the next party. I'm not going to know that unless you tell me. However, the adult part is that once he told me that, I didn't continue to pursue him in that original arrangement we had, because now it's shifted. And that's the difference. You can have that original conversation. You just then have to keep having a conversation. Because if you don't, nobody knows. Nobody's a fucking mind reader. So you can't get mad at somebody for your own damn feelings, especially if you never say what they are.
And for one, use a Vermont soldier for that. Carrying on something like that for 8, 10 months. I would tell you right now, it couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I wouldn't listen. That'd have been the longest 8 or 10 months of me just fucking, just being a friend. I guess we call it friends with benefits nowadays. Whatever with somebody, whatever. Whatever the fuck. Like I couldn't. But
Speak
with
for
that being
yourself,
said,
nigga. Shit.
another people don't have that.
I'd just be glad she was giving me the time of day.
Yeah, okay. Let me throw you under the bus now, Chris, because I know exactly how you would be in that situation.
I bet you won't.
And if you had been fucking somebody for consistently for 8 to 10 months, matter of fact, let me just say in a hypothetical sense, if you had been fucking the big consistently for 8 to 10 months, moment she told you,
let's go.
The moment that she told you that that you're not sleeping over, or you don't need to come, or you're not coming over, she tired, whatever, you would throw a whole motherfucking conniption fit, and there would be some sort of fucking conspiracy going on where you would fuck yourself up on your 8 to 10 months that you already invested, because she told you one time, hey, you a friend with benefits. We just fuck when we need to fuck, whatever. That don't require sleeping over. That don't require me coming over when you call. Vice versa, of course. But the moment that she did it, your whole world gonna shatter, and you gonna talk yourself right out of 8 or 10 months of pussy you was getting the whole damn time.
Wait a minute. Let me just make sure I fully understand you before So. You saying that
AJ, by the way.
Huh?
I said I'm agreeing with AJ, by the way.
I know you are, because we had this conversation right out there. You know where I'm pointing about this, AJ. So are you saying we have not, that we've been doing this for 8 to 10 months? Now, prior to this, we never had a conversation about what this was, right? Or did we?
You had to talk. You had to say something to her to fuck her. I know the bitch like that.
But
you had
it was already understood prior to us fucking the first time that this was just friends with benefits. Don't call me unless I need you, type of thing, right?
Well, the conversation was, yeah, this was friends with benefits.
Yeah.
And I don't see why it would be an issue. Now, you know who it would be an issue for?
Because you get your feelings.
In 2010.
Tell him again.
Old Chris.
In your feelings.
I get in my feelings. Oh, fuck you mean?
Chris, you have so many feelings.
So many
feelings.
This is what it is. I'm just glad. Okay, cool. Whatever. You can fuck, Joe, Bob, Seth and Peter for all I care, because we talked as adults and you said, this is the ground rules. I bet. Because one thing I want to do is keep fucking. I'm not trying to violate the rules, because poof, then you're gone. And then I play myself.
8 to 10 months of the same exact thing.
If I'm catching feelings, I need to sit you down and talk to you about that, and we need to make a decision from there.
I think I'm catching where you're losing to that, Chris. I think I catch where you're losing to that. I'm not saying that in 8 to 10 months you fuck 8 to 10 times. Like, I'm saying like on a weekly type deal or whatever, once a week, twice a week, fucking or whatever for 8 to 10 months.
Right.
You're gonna be vested. Like, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be
invested in the pussy, but not in her, because she told me not to.
You, Chris.
Bullshit.
Okay, I'm about to let you have that one, because I can't prove it no different unless Katy commit 8 to 10 months of giving you pussy. I can't prove it different, but I am telling you this. I am right.
That was the first bet you ever made. Well,
Katy misunderstands how in my feelings. Okay, let me scratch that. Katy misunderstands how out of my feelings I can get like that if you just talk to me. Now, have we not had a conversation? Yeah, I'm probably going to end up in my feelings. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But if she told me in plain English, hey, this is what it is, don't cross that line, all right, cool.
But again, no grown adult is going to have... okay. This is also a gift and a curse. No grown adult is going to have to keep having that same conversation. Because I know Big. She not just going... let me rephrase. I don't see her just having... And I'm talking this stage in life now.
Yeah.
That Vermont Big, I don't know. No Vermont. I'm talking about since North Carolina big.
Mm-hmm.
Since I don't see North Carolina big having that type of relationship with anybody, and not at the minimum feeding them, going out somewhere with them, invite them to hang out after fucking, before fucking, whatever. I don't see North Carolina big just saying, hey, come fuck, thanks for the fuck, see you later, bye, your Uber's outside. Like, I don't see it. So with that being said, again, this is all totally my opinion, but with that being said, Chris, you cannot tell me. Chris, now note, Chris, when I say this, I'm the one. I am the one who had to, kind of push along to instill the ruthless aggression in you. But you can't tell me that you're going to invest 8 to 10 months fucking somebody on a regular schedule, once, twice a week, once, whatever, and doing other things outside of that you would not be vested in that person. You cannot tell me that.
I'm trying to think of a person that I can compare that to.
There is nobody to compare it to, because there is nobody at least not in our circle. At least not in the circle that we know. Now your Fayetteville circle might be different. Big's Vermont circle might be different. I don't have a circle outside of North Carolina.
Check your phone, because I just texted you a name because I can't figure out how to code this, but that's somebody that I could compare it to.
I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check the watch because it's on the watch.
Okay, because it wasn't 8 to 10 months, but it was about 4. Okay, and we had a conversation of what this was gonna be, and that's all it was. I didn't get in no feelings. I didn't try to date. And we went to go get ice cream and hung out all the time and all kinds of stuff. If we smashed, we smashed. If we didn't, we didn't. And that was younger Chris, way less mature Chris. So you sitting here telling me 32-year-old more mature Chris can't handle it? Out of here.
Yes.
Fuck
Exactly
here.
what I'm telling you. I can tell you why. I can tell you why, but that would go totally off topic to what was going on. I can tell you why, but I am telling you that 32-year-old mature Chris couldn't handle it. Now, y'all, excuse me. I got a special guest that want to speak to everybody on YouTube right quick. Come here. Come up here. Oh, say hi.
Hey, man.
I had to quarantine with the family, so say hi.
Hi.
Say hey.
Hi.
You gonna go play?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost done. You go play. I'm gonna go play. And come back with
That's
this.
my godchild, everybody.
That's the guy. Hey, that's the next chosen one. So
Yeah.
the first chosen one. But no. Especially if I say the big. Now, if I would have pulled Jane Doe off the street, yes, I'm pretty sure you can handle. I'm pretty sure you can handle fucking Jane Doe for 8 to 10 months with no strings attached, whatever. But if I said the big, I said the North Carolina big is what I said to you, and I'm telling you that I'm, in my opinion, you couldn't do it.
Well, I guess the world will never know.
The world may never know, but again. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm gonna just say, keep shooting. Keep shooting.
First of all, the season's over. They took the court away. The goals ain't even there no more. I ain't got nothing to shoot at.
Well, you're right. Okay, fair enough. On this topic, then I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning toward the Bic on this one in agreement.
I think I'm picking up what AJ is putting down, which, for those of you who know us, that's an odd thing. So
yeah, no, that's why I was really eager to do this episode, because I was like, wait a minute, are we actually going to agree on something? Hold on.
But to loop it back to what we were originally talking about, AJ's whole point about picking me as a person for that is because you can say you're physically attracted to me, yes? But you are also mentally attracted to me.
Yeah. You mean like I like your personality, I like the way that you think. Yeah.
I mean, you like me. I'm all right, But that's why he's saying if you pull a Jane Doe off the street that you're physically attracted to, yeah, you have that. But if you don't have that mental aspect of it, then that's all it is. So that's why, going back to what we were talking about, does physical attraction mean sex? No. I mean, not for everybody. It can if that's what you want, but those two things are not necessarily. You cannot just approach a situation and ask somebody, "Are you attracted to me?" And if they say yes, assume that means that they would have sex with you. Those two things aren't the same.
And I concur. Y'all better take note of this. And ironically enough, it's April Fool's Day too. So
I keep forgetting that.
Well, I can't say that I completely agree. However, I agree a little more with you than when we started this episode, and I think that's a win. You're chipping away slowly. But let us know in the comments down below what you think. Am I right, wrong, smart, dumb? And of course, as always, sponsored by Jay Johnson Value Auto Care and Drinking Days. Does AJ still have any left? Hey, there it is. Custom homebrew blues. That's right. Links in the description below. Appreciate you watching. Check it out, your Monday Word every Monday here on YouTube.
Before you close it out completely, we're gonna let the future take it home.
Okay.
Come here, Stank. Come here. Say bye. Look right there. Say bye.
Bye.
Say see you next time.
See you next time.
All right, that's it. See y'all.